Al Jazeera Podcasts.
Today, the hottest trend on social media, the digital guillotine.
We're just going to block all of these celebrities and in turn block their ad revenue.
What started with Gaza has gone global. Can the block movement make an impact? I'm Malika Bilal, and this is The Take. It all started with the Met Gala on May 6th, an annual red carpet event in New York City. It's where big celebrities from arts, fashion, film, and music show off their prestige and glamour.
Our Met Gala special. All the sleeping beauties came to serve and slay.
So that means, of course,
This year, the circumstances were different. Protesters targeted the event to call attention to the war in Gaza, where the death toll stands at more than 35,000 people.
The NYPD saying close to 1,000 pro-Palestinian protesters made their presence felt in Manhattan near last night's famed Met Gala. Officers making several arrests.
At the gala, the stars remain silent, a silence that's been ringing for months. So a TikTok creator by the name of Pablo Artic posted this video.
Block celebrities on social media so they don't earn ad revenue from you.
Pablo and many other creators launched a movement with hashtags like Blackout 2024 and Celebrity Blocklist.
Social media users are blocking celebrities they believe haven't used their platforms to shed light on important issues like Sudan, Gaza, Congo, and beyond.
We gave them their platforms. It's time to take it back, take our views away, our likes, our comments, our money.
To break it all down, I talked to journalist Ahmed Shihab-Eldin.
I'm a journalist, actor, and storyteller, and I'm coming to you from Tunis.
Ahmed Shihab-Eldin, welcome to The Take. We know that Israel's war on Gaza sparked several boycotts targeting businesses supporting Israel, and some appear to have had an impact. I'm thinking Starbucks sales, for example, which took a big hit. But now we're talking about individuals, celebrities. Last week's Met Gala sparked the Blockout 2024 movement. So how much power do you think that celebrities actually have to change narratives, change public opinion, influence government decisions?
I think it's obvious that celebrities are role models and they're sources of inspiration for young people in particular, but I think for all people. They can have a profound influence, I think, on how we act, how we perceive ourselves even, and the world around us. And maybe most importantly, in the context of you mentioning, corporations being surprised maybe to learn that the impact of consumer boycotts over the genocide in Gaza are in fact measurable. I think celebrities can have a huge impact on how we spend our time, our energy, and most importantly, our money. And I think that's what this is all about. Because it's not the first time that Israel bombs Gaza or commits mass murder in Gaza over long periods of time. It's been happening for well over, 15, 20 years. And I think this is just part and parcel of sort of this new moment. And I think there's a lot of reasons for it. I think social media and the internet technology is playing a big role, but also sort of a generational divide. I think Gen Z in particular has shown that they're willing to do more. We have this perception that they're just ranting on TikTok, but I think they're actually putting their money where their mouth is. And to me, that's quite inspiring. And I think that's at the core of this Blockout movement.
So you have your own experience with this, a video you posted calling out inaction and silence by celebrities like Palestinian-American musician DJ Khaled
And our final nominee is DJ Khaled, a Palestinian-American whose obnoxious garish noisiness is contrasted by his pathetic silence on Palestine, which warms the ice-cold hearts of genocidal folks from Washington, D.C. all the way to the settlements in Hebron, el-Khalili.
It went viral. Where do you fall on the block movement personally? And where do you draw the line for which celebrities should be blocked or shouldn't be?
It's a great question. When I made that video about el-Khalili and DJ Khaled, it was kind of comedic, but it was also very serious. It was me naming and shaming them. And I was very reluctant to do that and sat on it for many months because I felt like I didn't want to be destructive, distracting. I wanted to keep things constructive. And most importantly, I wanted to keep things focused on the people who are so often forgotten and misrepresented, which is Palestinian people in Gaza. When I posted it, I was really surprised to see that it struck a nerve. And, I think it got millions and millions of views on Instagram, but then also on Twitter. And I never go viral on Twitter. So all that to say, to answer your question kind of more pointedly, once I saw that, I was encouraged, but I was also wondering where this all is going to take us. Because, for example, it doesn't seem very centralized, this Blockout movement, in the sense that it's strange to me, for example, to see Bella Hadid on some Blockout lists. She's a Palestinian herself. Mm-hmm. She has spoken out.
Israel's official social media accounts are going after Gigi Hadid, and the Hadid family is now facing death threats. Gigi and Bella Hadid's father, Mohammed, is Palestinian, and over the years, both sisters have spoken in support of Palestine.
She's chanted and protested in 2021, from the river to the sea, this very controversial statement, even though it shouldn't be controversial. But my point is, perhaps she's been less vocal this time around, and that landed her on the list. I don't even know if there's a formal list, quite honestly, but I think what this points to is that there's a real challenge of having a standard of who to block and why.
So why block versus just unfollow a celebrity who you don't feel is speaking out? What difference does it make to block them?
I think blocking is different than unfollowing in the sense that it is a complete severing of ties, right? Both online and then potentially in action in the physical world, in the sense that you no longer will interact with their content online. If you just unfollow, the way that these algorithms exist today, it's shifted dramatically from when social media first came to be, and it was really in your feed only the people that you followed that you would see.
The good old days.
Yeah, I miss those old days, right? I think we all have personal grievances about that evolution. But yeah, it's this way when you block them, not only do they lose followers, but you take away our views, our likes, our comments, and eventually our money.
So how much of an impact can this all have? That's after the break. The rationale behind the Block campaign is to hit celebrities where it hurts, their pockets. Taylor Swift and Kim Kardashian have reportedly lost hundreds of thousands of followers since the start of the campaign. But what impact does that have on their revenue? We heard from Dr. Marcus Collins, assistant professor of marketing at the University of Michigan.
In an attention-based economy like the one in which we live, social currency by way of likes, comments, shares, followers, retweets, and the like, these things serve as essentially a proxy for relevance. And the more relevant you are, the more likely you are to be approached by advertisers, cast in movies, given partnership opportunities, so on and so on and so on. These things lead to financial gain. Therefore, the calculus by the protesters or the rationale is that if they're able to stifle one's perceived relevance by reducing their views, likes, follower count, the things that are proxies for relevance, then they might be able to hamper the economic opportunities which these people are able to benefit from because of their social currency, because of their cultural capital, because of their relevance.
So, Ahmed, let me walk into this for our listeners who are not on social media and all of this is maybe going over their heads. So influencer Hailey Bailey, that's her social media name, She was hired as a pre-gala host for the Met Gala, and she posted a video of herself the night of the gala saying,
"Let them eat cake."
It was a trending sound on social media, and it's a line that is falsely attributed to the late Queen of France, Marie Antoinette, about the poor in France. So Hailey Bailey later deleted the video. She issued an apology. And we know that Marie Antoinette was executed by guillotine during the French Revolution, which is why we are now hearing about this digital version, so to speak.
It's time for the people to conduct what I want to call a digital guillotine, a digitine, if you will. It's time to block.
That is quite a dramatic statement, even if we are not actually calling for the execution of celebrities. Are we witnessing an awakening against the tone-deaf and indifferent celebrities flaunting their wealth and flaunting their own indifference? Or have things gone too far?
I think we are witnessing an awakening when it comes to celebrities, as you just mentioned, but also when it comes to Israel and Palestine, and quite frankly, other sort of global issues that I think highlight the difference and disconnect between the haves and the have-nots, or the elite and the, sort of normal people, whatever you want to call it. It was that juxtaposition during the Met Gala of those kind of lavish costumes juxtaposed with the gore and blood of the victims in Gaza. And, again, it's about underlining how out of touch these celebrities as individuals, but also as a community are, and how I think what matters to them is profit over everything else, including people. And so to me, this movement, it's a reminder that we as a community are what help these people earn their millions, and we keep them relevant. And it's really a grassroots push for accountability. It's also a reminder that, sometimes as an individual, we can feel kind of powerless. But when people come together, whether it's to boycott Starbucks or to block out Kim Kardashian, we can be really impactful and arguably as influential as they are.
So we're having this long conversation about social media users wanting celebrities and people with influence to speak out. But we know that there can be and have been major consequences for speaking out. At the beginning of the war, we saw Oscar-winning Hollywood actress Susan Sarandon dropped by her talent agency. We saw the actress Melissa Barrera losing her role in the Scream movies for an Instagram post that people deemed anti-Semitic. She said Israel was a colonized land. These are real consequences that really affect people's bottom lines and their careers.
On a personal level, Malika, I can relate. I mean, I'm not a celebrity in the same way they are, but I've certainly lost opportunities in very overt ways as a result of my reporting, but also advocating for, not mass murdering children every day. So I think we all have to draw the lines for ourselves. But when it comes to celebrities, I think we're starting to see this. Susan Sarandon, as you said, and others who've been very vocal and very consistent long before this particular genocide on this issue. I think, we just have to be kind of human. This is not just about politicians and Hollywood or even corporations. There is a disproportionate cancel culture and penalization process that comes from criticizing Israel. And it's not just apparent in Hollywood and our celebrities. Sadly, it's apparent in almost every facet of American life.
What do you see this as? Is this the beginning of something much larger?
I hope so, Malika. All I can say is I hope so. And I say that not only as a Palestinian, but I say that as someone who has been disillusioned for quite some time in terms of the things that we as a society tend to prioritize, tend to give a lot of value to. And I think Palestine has been a rallying cry. It's been after the intersectional resistance we saw with Black Lives Matter and then the Me Too movement and sort of the coalescing of groups who are empathizing with marginalized, misrepresented people. I mean, I think Israel played a big role in sort of triggering this movement because they've been so obscenely shameless in their brutality and their violence and their collective punishment. You know, a friend of mine taught me this thing. It's like, I'm trying to stay young, so I try to hang out with young people. But a young friend of mine, I should say, said, free Palestine till it's backwards. And for me, it's like, when it's backwards, maybe then we'll start to free ourselves of all the other shackles that keep us tied into systems that don't serve us, either as individuals or as communities trying to coexist on this planet.
Great way to land that plane, Ahmed.
Oh my God, the plane was like, it's like turbulence all over.
And that's The Take. This episode was produced by Sarí el-Khalili, Khaled Soltan, and Sonia Bagat, with Chloe K. Lee, Manahil Naveed, Noor Wazwaz, Tamara Kandakar, Catherine Nouhan, Tabish Talib, Ashish Malhotra, David Enders, Amy Walters, Zaina Bedr, and me, Malika Bilal. Our sound designer is Alex Roldan. Alexandra Locke is The Take's executive producer, and Ney Alvarez is Al Jazeera's head of audio. We'll be back tomorrow.